Okay, I'm back. So where we left off, uh, we had destroyed an SA-5 site, and we have severely reduced the bubble in which they can deny access to their territory. Uh, all of our aircraft returned safely, and we came close to engaging enemy aircraft. However, we didn't, so we actually have taken no losses. They only fired a few missiles at us. I engaged a few radar sites that were targets of opportunity. Figured why not, but the big takeaway was the SA-5 site we took out, which frees up a whole bunch of space around that we can patrol deeper into their territory now. We no longer have this whole bubble here. Like, right here was where my AWACS mission was. No longer need to worry about that, because we liberated that airspace, basically. Lessons learned, quick after-action report. I scrambled fighters sooner, which was fine. Of course, if I met resistance, I would not have launched the operation until I was ready. But I established air superiority because it was simply unchallenged. I should have scrambled a tanker. I have the tankers for a reason. Then the strike itself, I could have done a better job planning it. I mean, the bomber and the jammer part was executed fine, but at the last minute I decided to scramble the tactical fighters. I don't know how the strike would have gone if I hadn't fired all the Kryptons that I fired, but everything did work out. I took out the radar before the cruise missiles hit. The cruise missiles finished it off. If I had known, I would have fired less cruise missiles, but go big or go home. I will have those aircraft back, so I don't think that's an issue. I don't think that anyone would ever say, oh, I regret firing 100 rounds of ammo in that direction to get one bad guy, because at the end of the day, that bad guy didn't get you. So the SA-20 site clearly was not here. If it was, I would have had a much harder time, and I would have lost missiles to it. So as a result, this SSM unit is completely out of place. There's nothing it can engage, so maybe I want to set it to go closer to this airbase here. It's going to path its way around, and it's going to take some time to get there. But if I run into anything that I can't destroy, ballistic missiles would help. Doesn't say how long it'll take. It should say, come on. Does not say how long it'll take to get there. If we set it to here, maybe if it doesn't have to autopath, it will tell us. No, it won't. Alright, well, I'm going to set it in this direction. It is 3 hours-ish if it's going 30 knots. Since the next strike might not even go until then, I think that's fine. So I have this radar site here. I am thinking of using some attack aircraft from these bases here to take it out. Maybe this one too, but it is risky. Of course, when my main forces on this side do rearm, I am going to want to use them. I'm not going to wait for my bears, but I do have my backfires and my blackjacks, and I will use them to launch missile strikes against these targets. I'm going to wait probably for my tactical fighters to get back up. And I might do another recon mission to see if I can see the SA-20 before then, since I do have time. But I'm thinking if I do that, it'll be AWACS, probably set AWACS to patrol around here. Maybe like one or two flanker groups to go with it, one refueling aircraft, and one Su-24 with the ELINT, just getting as close as I can, seeing if I could trigger them. Now, since it's not even an ocean, I don't have very much in the way of anti-air ships here. Otherwise, I would literally park my ships here and say, no flying for you. Now, I could use these cruise missiles, but so far I've thought that they are not worth wasting on radar sites when I'm reasonably certain I could take this one and maybe even this one out with basically the equivalent of a Maverick without really risking much in the way of aircraft. It would actually be a good diversionary tactic to do that at the same time I'm attacking this here. Now these frigates really could do some bombardment of this area, but I don't know how feasible that really is. They do have their 16 cruise missiles, though. Those will get taken advantage of at some point. So we're going to see what aircraft we have. Our ELINT aircraft is returning to base. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only one of that we have. So that is going to rearm and take about 3 hours. We've got our IL-78 almost done. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 flankers ready. And by the next operation, we'll have another 6 ready. We've got these guys here, which, again, I'm not risking short-range weapon attacks just yet. We've got these guys reloading. And after they're done reloading, they will have 58 Krypton's left. Okay. I suppose if I run them every 6 hours, they will run out. But I think I only see 1, 2, and they said they have a battalion around Baku, which is here. So that's 3 targets left. The rest of the targets really could be mopped up with guided bombs, like TV guided bombs, like this. Stay away from the SA-3, but it's short range, so who cares? As long as you avoid it. This radar here is a little bit better defended, but an SA-3 has a chance of shooting down, like, what, maybe 1 Krypton coming towards it? Maybe 2. Fire 4, it's almost guaranteed, I'd think. So, next strike, I've got cruise missiles from my bombers, and I've got the kitchen missiles, the high-flying missiles. Those I'm thinking would be good at blitzing less advanced radar sites, or less advanced SAM sites, but I don't know how precise they are. I fear that I'd get a lot of misses for only having 4 of them. They're not saturating air defenses with 4 of them. So what I'm expecting to do is overflying my surface group here and coming straight down towards here, probably just going after the tin shield. So this is a bunker. I'm thinking I would fire my kitchen missiles at this. But it's hardened. Are these penetrators? They are. So at a minimum, I do have penetrators that I could use to take out this bunker at minimal risk to me if I have no other way of doing so. I don't think a kitchen missile is a penetrator, but crashing into something at Mach 4 ought to punch through just about anything. Their Air Force has been smart and stayed grounded for the most part. They have scrambled a few times, came close to engaging, didn't engage. I could have pursued the issue, but I didn't. It's not my mission to. And while I think the flanker is a little better than a MiG-29, I could lose just as much as I take away from them, and our mission clearly states that we are not supposed to have unnecessary losses. So I went back to base, said, you go back to base, I go back to base, we both live. So targets that I'd want to take out when I want to set up a distraction, this spoon rest, this bar lock, I think those are easy. Maverick coming in, or the equivalent of a Maverick coming in from this direction, TV guided bomb on this, not much to stop me. MiG-29 here, MiG-29 here, probably another MiG-29 here. So 3 flights probably would cover that whole area. Nice distraction. If they engage it, I've got a few flights up to deal with it. At least it would buy time for the frogfoots to get back to base. Because that's all I thought I had over here. I didn't think I had a fencers. I did not. Just frogfoots. They're slower. Okay. We do need to wait for this guy to come back to base, though. But in the meantime, I am going to do some armed reconnaissance like I had talked about. And this time, we've got I'm going to go with 2 flights. Actually, I'm going to delay them taking off for the moment. I'm going to wait until the AWACS aircraft is nearby. And the reason being is to just not waste any fuel on it. So AWACS is going to come down and have him patrol around here. Fighters will scramble when he gets to around here and lead the way. Along the way, we're going to pick up our ELINT aircraft here. And we're going to skirt around. If they scramble MiGs, we're going to withdraw. That's the plan. That might be a good time to also launch a diversionary attack around here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because if there's a diversionary attack, I don't think that fighters coming from this airbase are even going to come into play if I'm coming from this direction. So I'll take this out while I'm at it. It's a target of opportunity. Get some intel, and then we'll have a better idea of what we're up against here. Speed this up. All right. When it gets to here, we loiter. And when it gets to here, we scramble our fighters. And time to scramble our fighters. Tanker first. Two sets of fighters. Now I'm going to leave the jamming aircraft behind. If I get launched on, I'm going to dive. I'm going to run away. I'm not going to get within 80 miles of the shore. So, going to put so this is about the range that I'm going to have my ELINT aircraft go to under the cover of the flankers. That way it's not at excessive risk. And I think I would have time to dive in time. The SA-5 is not going to have a high probability of engaging an aircraft. That far out, it's plenty of time to dive. It's semi-active, so I should be okay if that happens. The AWACS will ensure I don't get jumped by MiGs, but if I can avoid it, I will avoid air-to-air combat. Flankers, set them to their business. More flankers, set them, go about their business. And the refueling aircraft, set them to travel out for now. Hopefully you can keep up with the flankers. It's a little bit slower, but I'm fine bringing the flankers back for a refuel. All right, set this guy to loiter. I'm going to set this guy to about here. Get my ELINT aircraft out. Start here. And then I'll work my way closer. I totally just told them to refuel with AWACS. Oops. My bad. Alright, so at the moment the fighters are further out, so of course if they scramble we'll turn around. We should be very well informed if they come on out. Should know well in advance. So SU-27 or SU-24, set him out. So this is outside of the range of the SA-20 if it is in Baku. If it's in this area here, I think I would have already detected it. Fighters are being scrambled. So I guess I engage. If I don't win decisively and quickly, I should probably turn back. If he fires, I'm basically just retreating. Did not detect anything getting this far away, but this guy can really go back to base at this point. I don't know why you haven't shot yet, but that bothers me. Shoot something, damn it. Yeah, there we go. Now, with semi-active radar homing missiles, when you shoot first, you force them to go defensive. The missiles do not guide themselves, so if they go defensive, that missile is trashed. There we go. So if we just keep shooting to keep them defensive, we'll win, I think. Alright, we shot him down. And we've got a SAM incoming, a fast SAM. Slow down. Oh yes. That was worth it. We now know where the SA-20 is. We're going to dive. We're going to go straight to the ground. We're going to have these guys head back out. And this guy's already going back to base full burner. Mainstay. His job is done. He can go back to base. Now they've got one more fulcrum, but I'm not worried about him. This guy's gonna did not dive fast enough. Damn it! Dive fast. Okay, good. Is that min altitude? All right. What other reference point is selected? Cancel. Oops. Timeout. Deselect all reference points. Select reference point. SA20 location. All right. Let me just see one thing. What is the range of an SA-20? $110 miles. Okay. I thought it was 80. Now this fighter here has overextended, but our mission is not to engage him. Our mission is to engage only if we need to. He could shoot down one of my fighters, so it's not worth it, unless I have no choice. So he is extending beyond what he... Yeah. He's extending far enough that I'm comfortable doing this. I'm going to chance it. Even though it's not my mission, he is chasing me. So I don't actually have a lock with this aircraft. If I get to within this bubble and I don't still have a lock, I will retreat him. No directors to illuminate. What's my radar good for then? Ugh. And treat this guy. But retreat him at slow speed for now. I can always speed him up if I need to. The MiG will not be engaging his afterburner this far out. Not this far out, but that far out. So that is 200 miles from these air bases. Yeah. He won't engage his radar that far out. SA5. All right. Yep. Just run the fuck away. Min altitude. Get out. All right. Now max altitude and get out. Back to base. Back to base. Full burner. I think we can go to military power now and not die from running out of fuel. But we could also attack this now. I probably should have done it while that attack was going on, but I didn't. Alright. So I've got cluster bombs and scallions. How are these guided? Are these rockets? I have a data link. Heat rockets. Alright. So I was going to attack with... What's the altitude that they could be released at? Yeah, sure, I'll try it. I'll try going for an attack. Let's get the relief layer on. I got a little fixated there on this. Either of them is at bingo and they're already heading back, so they're fine. He's turning back. I thought I had turned on the relief layer. What's going on? There we go. Okay. I'm going to go low the entire time, pass right over it, drop off my weapons on the way. Fighter coverage is going to hang back. I have all of my EW stuff here, so I just need to keep my MiGs airborne. I don't actually think that I need to keep my MiGs over this particular target area. And really, my first option will be to retreat. Now that I have an exact fix here on the gargoyle, I'm going to put that right over it. And I am in range of the gargoyle, so when I factor in my attack, I believe I can have this guy stop now and set back up. So my biggest question is it a guarantee that my ballistic missiles would destroy him? So it looks like when they're higher up, they're going to blitz the target, no problem. The only question is, on the way down, (125,000 feet and lower), they're vulnerable. Now, I know they fired a few missiles so far, but I would imagine that foretels, and I think they're 4 each, presumably with reloads, so they definitely have missiles left. I would say that if it's just targeting them on the way down, aircraft be unable to intercept them. The only way that they're going to get a missile at best is on its way down. They are not designed for anti-ballistic missiles, and they probably will not succeed at that job. They might be able to take 1, but they are not taking 8. The other target is this sector control station. This guy I'm not so worried about. Now, of course, is that the only target? That I have no idea. I suspect that there would be others out there, but we'll see what we can uncover within 3 days. I would say that their ability to threaten Armenian airspace would be entirely dependent on them having at least 1 battery, in which case they could put it right on their border and no airline could ever fly if they were willing to shoot them down. Military aircraft, they're usually maneuverable enough they would dodge unless they're coming in for a landing or something, but even then they're coming below the radar, so that shouldn't be an issue. I'm dropping all of my cluster bombs on them. Do I want to go up higher in altitude? Now, I know in DCS world, you would never want to drop a cluster bomb from this low off the ground. So I'm going to raise them just a little bit. Wait. No, they didn't drop all their cluster bombs. Back around. Finish that radar site off. But be prepared to dive again if it's unsafe. Any missile comes in, I'll dive. I should have enough warning to do so. Drop their bombs. Drop your bombs. Come on, come on, come on. Drop them. Yeah, sure. Fire that while you're at it. Why not? There we go. Destroyed. Back to base. Alright, I said that I would deal with the SA-20 in the next part. That's clearly not the case. There's no way I'm going to launch a strike in this part. But next part is going to be planning and execution of a strike against this, this, and this. They're in the same area, so there is benefit in engaging all of them at the same time. I'm going to end this episode as soon as the aircraft I have land, which I'm not sure what they're waiting for, but well, they're slow. But it doesn't have to travel far. Just making sure they're all set to RTB, RTB, RTB. RTB, RTB, RTB. As soon as these aircraft land, I can set it to max speed until these aircraft land. They're just in no danger, so no human decision would be necessary whatsoever for them that I could conceive of, at least. right. Return to base. Return to base. And have not returned to base yet. Let's get them back to base now. AWACS back to base. All right. One last thing is to check times. Obviously, our aircraft just got back to base. They're getting ready. We've got the majority of our flankers ready, 8 of them for the next operation. Tankers, we've got 2. I'm not strategizing this time, but if I do launch 8 aircraft, I probably will take both tankers up. Got 2 hours on our Su-34s. These aircraft are not getting into the fight until I am certain I can, just be able to escort them in without long-range SAMs firing at me. These aircraft will be invaluable in the next raid, especially if I'm going up against a more modern SAM system. Oh, speaking of which, is my jammer ready? This big guy. I don't know which jammer was the one that did it, but got our ELINT aircraft rearming, and don't need anything with them unless we lose pilots. Have 2 of them rearming, good. All of our MiGs here, and all but 4 of our MiGs here are ready. One last thing, I don't really see any low-risk targets on this side that I can just take out with my aircraft on this side at the moment. After this is dealt with, I can do some SAM hunting on the fixed locations and use these aircraft here to pick them off. And also use my Su-24s to pick them off here as well, but that's simply not going to happen until I take care of this guy and this guy. And then I still have the SA-4s to hunt. So I'm thinking when I'm hunting the SA-4s, that's when I'm going to want to bring in the recon aircraft and find them. Because I think the SA-4s have a range of about 40 nautical miles. So their radars will be seeing before then. But I need to find them. So I may need to take some of these guys out. Now, probably want to take the tin shields out. Got one here. Got one here. Got one here, near the SA-20. Now, if I take out the SA-5 and the SA-20, without using cruise missiles, I will have 20 missiles on these guys, plus whatever is left on the bombers. Those will definitely be spent towards radars and SAM sites until I'm out. All right, so I'm going to save it here. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to making more very soon. Have a good night, or a good day, or whatever time it is. Oh, and Merry Christmas, by the way.